This is the 2026 Toyota Yaris Cross Hybrid. On the surface, it looks like just another small SUV, compact, city-friendly, kind of ordinary. But if you actually dig into the specs and the way Toyota engineered it, you realize it's built with a lot more depth than most people expect. What seems like just a budget crossover is hiding efficiency, clever engineering, and enough refinement to actually punch above its weight class. Let's start with the design. Built on Toyota's GA platform, the same architecture used for the Yaris hatchback, only stretched and lifted for crossover functionality. That means you get a compact footprint, but with more ground clearance and practicality. Dimensions are roughly 4,180 mm long and 1,765 mm wide. And to put that into perspective, it's slightly shorter than a Honda HR-V, but a bit larger than a Mazda CX-3, with a curb weight around 1,200–1,300 kg for front-wheel drive versions. The old version weighs slightly more, up to 1,360 kg, which is lighter than the Mazda CX-30 and even the Nissan Juke. Pair that with a relatively aerodynamic profile, and you start to see why this car is set up for both efficiency and stability. Now, not only is this design an absolute looker, but it's making the car globally versatile. In Europe and Japan, narrow streets demand compact size. In Asia, efficiency is king. And in markets like Australia, it needs to handle highway speeds without feeling unstable. Size-wise, it slots nicely between the compact Honda HR-V and subcompact Mazda CX-3 in overall footprint, elegantly sized for both tighter vanities and open roads now. The hybrid system is where the Yaris Cross really separates itself from being just another crossover. The Yaris Cross Hybrid uses a 1.5-liter, 3-cylinder Atkinson cycle petrol engine paired with an electric motor, forming Toyota's full hybrid EV system, which is part of their 5th-generation hybrid system used in recent cars. On paper, that doesn't sound like much, but the way the hybrid delivers torque makes it feel quicker than the numbers suggest. Power output is around 116 PS 85 kW for the standard FWD version, rising to as much as 132 PS 97 kW in higher output or odd variants. Fuel economy WLTPs combined typically falls in the 4.5–5.4 L per 100 kilometers range, approximately 52–43 mpg US or 18–22 km depending on drive E-train and tuning. That's significantly better than most non-hybrid rivals. For example, the Mazda CX-30 comes in at around 30 mpg US combined, and the Nissan Juke manages about 35 mpg US at best. So Toyota tuned the Yaris Cross Hybrid to sit right in the sweet spot. City driving efficiency with enough highway stability. The hybrid system works seamlessly. The electric motor handles low-speed city movement, cutting fuel use in traffic, while the petrol engine kicks in on highways, assisted by the electric motor for better response when overtaking. When people hear small crossover hybrid, they usually think slow and boring, but here's the twist. Toyota didn't make this thing sluggish. Acceleration from 0–100 kilometers, approximately 10.7 s for the FWD 132 PS version, and around 11.2–11.3 s for OD or lower output models. That electric motor's instant torque gives the Yaris Cross a peppy feel in urban driving, even if the tachometer numbers aren't dramatic. With the electric motor providing instant torque, you don't get the laggy feel of a traditional small petrol engine. Around town, it feels light on its feet. The suspension layout remains conventional, a MacPherson strut up front and a torsion beam or double wishbone on odd at the rear. Toyota tunes this for a balance of ride comfort and agility, particularly in the forthcoming GR Sport version. Steering is electric assist, light for maneuverability in tight spaces, but it firms up at speed. A smart dual-purpose setup to keep driving engagement without sacrificing comfort. It's not a sports car, obviously, but compared to a Nissan Juke or even a base HR-V, it feels more responsive, more connected, and less compromised. Stepping into the Yaris Cross Hybrid, you don't get luxury, but it's rather practical. Cargo space comes in at 397 liters, with enough room for daily runs or a weekend bag. Rear passengers get a decent 805 mm of legroom and 955 mm of headroom, which is fair for a compact crossover. Up front, you've got an 8-inch touchscreen as standard, with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto baked in. The cabin materials lean toward durable and simple rather than premium, but it feels modern enough. On safety, Toyota fitted the hybrid with its full safety sense, suite, automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise and road sign recognition, making sure tech serves quietly but effectively. On paper, this is where it shines. The hybrid powertrain cuts fuel use down to 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's easily a saving of $800, $1,000 per year, compared to a regular gas-only SUV in the same class. Reliability is about as safe as it gets, as Toyota's hybrid system has been proven for over 2 decades. Maintenance also trends lower. No alternator, starter motor, or traditional transmission to worry about, which means fewer expensive failures down the line, making servicing not only cheaper but simpler. In Toyota's lineup, this car slots below the Corolla Cross and above the Yaris hatch, basically giving budget-conscious buyers a hybrid crossover option without forcing them into something too big or too pricey. It's aimed at urban families, young professionals, and eco-conscious buyers who want practicality without a high entry cost. And because Toyota is pushing this as a global model, you'll see it across Asia, Europe, and emerging markets, not just in 1 or 2 regions. And unlike most subcompact SUVs, it's available with Toyota's iOD system, helping in weather or grip-deficient conditions. Most people will look at it and think, just another small hybrid crossover. But in reality, Toyota has stuffed in tech and efficiency that's normally reserved for bigger, more expensive models. And in some markets, an all-wheel drive option is on the table, a rarity in this size and price bracket, and something that makes it stand out. So in short, lightweight, efficient, packed with useful tech, and built for global buyers. Not over-designed, not overpriced, just a solid hybrid crossover that gets the job done. If you want to see how it stacks up against its bigger cars, that breakdown for you in the next video.